In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to copy, edit, and administer self-grading algebra regions to your own students using Google Forms. So right now we're looking at the June 2016 regions, and you'll notice as we scroll through that these are the actual screenshots from the test itself. I got the test from the PDFs of the OSA website, nice archive of New York State regions, and this has been an amazing resource for my students because what we do is we've been administering these mock regions as extra credit. That way we can sort of anticipate how they're going to perform on the actual regions. And here are 66 responses, and we've got the nice point distribution in terms of average, median, and range. Likewise, we've got representation in this cool visual of which students and which periods participated. Likewise, the actual sort of distribution of their selection for each question. So number one, I wouldn't necessarily review in class because 85% students solved this correctly. But if we scroll through, we can see that maybe there's significant more confusion with question 22. In fact, I suspect that I have yet to review this type of problem in the curriculum. Likewise, there's some confusion with 24. So this is a great method for item analysis. One of the limitations, however, with using Google Forms is that these tests are just the 24 multiple choice questions. There's no constructed response because of limitations with Google Forms. However, if you want to add open-ended responses, you can certainly do that. And I tacked on a few extra questions just to sort of gauge their reaction to this kind of test. It was super informative. So here's June 2016. Here's another response from August 2015. What are the responses going to look like in a spreadsheet? Well, Google Forms is great because it breaks up the responses into this pretty easy to read spreadsheet. And I noticed that in column C, we're going to find their name and it automatically grades their score. We can see that in column B. So, for example, this individual got a perfect 24 out of 24. This individual is going to need to review somewhat more. So this is a great learning experience. Maybe this person wants to check out some of the videos that I've created, or maybe you'll create that cover some of these problems. Let's review questions from the New York Algebra Common Core test from June 2015. Let's jump right on in. So how do you import these self-grading algebra regions to your own Google Drive? Well, maybe through an email or my YouTube channel. You're going to find a link that brings you to this Google Drive folder. And right now I've only got three algebra regions, but I'm going to continue translating and uploading. Let's say, for example, you want to administer the August 2015 regions. You're going to right-click, and then you're going to select Make a Copy. And when you left-click, you'll notice it says Creating a Copy. It's going to put it on your own Google Drive. So I'll left-click My Drive. And when we do, we see that it's right here. And I'm going to double-click to open it up. And I see that as it's loading, it's now section 1 of 3. And we've got all the questions sort of uploading right now. So these are images. They might take a few seconds to upload, but presumably when it's not in an editable mode, when it's in live mode, it's going to be, it'll load much more quickly. So here's question number 1, and you'll notice when I click on it, it says that 2 is already pre-selected as the correct response. Likewise, this green check indicates that I've already selected 3, option 3 as the correct response. First thing I'm going to suggest that you do, however, is edit the title so it's your name, August 15th, along with maybe right here, you're going to swap out Mr. Droz, Mr. Chan for Mr. slash Mrs. your name. Obviously, you can modify this text as you see fit. And if you click this gear right here, this little cog that says settings, we've got a number of options. So right now, the show progress bar is selected. Shuffle question order is not. You might want to shuffle questions if you're doing that in class, and I'll elaborate why in a moment. Likewise, when my students submit, they can see the missed questions along with what the correct answers would have been if they got it wrong. I find that it's pretty helpful for something like extra credit, but not if you're going to do that in class and make it a test. I might hold off and show them what the correct answers would be at a later time. Likewise, if you're doing it in class and you think that maybe cheating is an issue, what we can do is you can shuffle question order, and that just rearranges the sequence of the questions. So I'm going to press save. And the reason maybe you want to do that is because wandering eyes might, you know, peek over at a screen nearby if they're feeling a little bit confused. When you shuffle the questions, however, it's only limited to that specific section, right? So this is section 1, so that in section 1, the name identification question and the period that you have algebra would be shuffled. But if they're not in a separate section, right? If this is all a single section, then maybe the what is your name question is three quarters of the way through the test or all the way at the bottom. Um, if you wanted to edit this question, if you're not really familiar with Google Forms, you can simply go in and you can change it from period 2 to 4 to 5, to, let's say 5, and maybe you don't have an 8th or ninth period class, so we can simply uh, delete those, knock those out, and you're good to go. Finally, if you wanted to change the value, the point value of each question, what you're going to do is you're going to click on question itself, and we'll scroll down a little bit, and we can see that when we click answer key and we scroll up, right now the point value is 1 point, but if you wanted to make it 2 or 22 or 222, you could certainly do that as well. And those points again will be tallied up when students click submit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email. Good luck.